So guys, here we start with the chapter number 6, which is accounting procedures. That is basically the rules of debit and credit. So we all very well know accounting is all about debit and credit. So we need to understand what is the meaning of debit and credit and what are the rules and regulations that we have to follow with regard to debit and credit. Only then your accounting procedures will be accomplished. So in this chapter, we'll be learning what is meaning of an account. We'll understand what is meaning of debit and what is the meaning of credit. We'll understand what are the rules we have to follow. So after studying those rules, you will know which account should be debited and which account should be credited. And then we'll learn classification of accounts and balancing of accounts. This is nothing but which is a part of ledger. This is a part of ledger. Can we start, guys? So transactions,
Yes,
transaction means any activity which is happening between two people. It's called transaction. Transactions are recorded in books of accounts on the basis of evidence, which means if I have to record anything, how does recording take place in the accounts? Who is responsible for recording?
Journal.
Journal entry. I said you that recording step starts with journal entry. So if I really want to record the transaction, the moment I identify the transaction, I measure in terms of money, I'm supposed to record. But when you record it, check whether do you have evidence. Evidence means what? Proof. What is a proof for this journal entry? What is a proof for this transaction? So for example, if there is a purchase happened, can I say when you purchase, the supplier will give you a bill? If I go and purchase a laptop, does the laptop seller gives a bill?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in that bill, what will happen? What will be mentioned? In that bill, what is the laptop that I have purchased? What is the price at which I have purchased? What is the tax value? Who is the buyer? Who is the seller? Which date I have purchased? Everything will be mentioned. So can I say this is the sufficient proof to prove that I have purchased this laptop? This bill,
Yes,
is
sir.
it acting as a sufficient evidence that this laptop is purchased by me? So bill. If I do sale, invoice. If I do sales, we need a document called invoice. So invoice is the evidence or proof that I have done a sale. So for each and every transaction, guys, each and every transaction you record in the books will have an evidence. Without evidence, you cannot record. So what is evidence? Evidence is the source of document, such as invoice for purchase, invoice for sales, debit and credit note. Debit and credit note, I'm going to explain you. When we do 7th chapter, in that debit and credit note will be explained in detail. So as of now, just remember that each and every transaction which is recorded in the books of accounts has to be supported by evidence. Without evidence, I will not do the recording. Are we clear with this first point? So to record a transaction, first and foremost thing, what I need is a evidence. I need evidence to record. Once I have the evidence, I need to know what are the rules for debit and credit. So rules of debit and credit are applied. Rules in debit and credit are applied to each transaction and recorded, because in journal entry, I have to debit one account and credit another account. So let me tell you one more thing. I said you that transaction will have minimum two people. One person will be the business and other person will be the third party, the other person. I said you every transaction, it is something which is happening, activity happening between the business and the third party, right? So every transaction will have at least two people, minimum two people. One is business of that, another is third party. So let's take an example. So Fortune Academy purchased furniture of rupees 20,000 in cash from Furniture World. So Fortune Academy has purchased furniture of rupees 20,000 rupees in cash from Furniture World. So can I say this is a transaction? It has to be, for me to call this as a transaction, it has to be a business financial transaction. Can I say this transaction, I'm buying the furniture for the purpose of the business? Am I buying the furniture for the purpose of business?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I say in this transaction, money is involved, 20,000 rupees, finance is involved? BFT means business financial transaction. Business ho gaya, finance, T transaction. Transaction means what? Anything which happens between business and third party. Can I say Fortune Academy is business and Furniture World is the third party who's giving me the furniture? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So every transaction will have two persons. One of which will be business, another will be third party. Two persons. This is two person. Likewise, every transaction also will have two accounts. Account is different, person is different. Two accounts. Every transaction will have two accounts. One account will be debited always, another account will be credited always. Debited, D-E-B-I-T. Debit means short form DR. Credit, short form means CR. Debit and credit. Every transaction will have one debit and one credit. So in this transaction, one thing which I'm going to record is furniture account. So one account is going to be my furniture account. Because when I buy furniture, can I say my furniture is increasing? Or furniture is coming inside the business?
Yes, sir.
So can I say that I need to record furniture? If I don't record furniture in accounting, how will I know what furniture I have and where I have? So if I want to remember in future, okay, 5 years ago I purchased furniture. This is that furniture means I need to record this furniture. Do you agree with me? Accounting is all about remembering certain things. So I need to remember that I have purchased furniture. On which date I have furniture? Which date I have purchased the furniture. So when I record the journal entry, I'll mention that how many quantities of furniture I purchased, what is the value of the furniture, on which date I have purchased, and from whom I have purchased. This all information will be captured in this journal entry. So one account that is affected. I'm talking about account. I'm talking about account. This is person. This is account. Person is different, account is different. So one account that is affected is furniture account. Another account that is affected is cash. If I buy furniture, can I say I have to pay cash? Can I say my cash will reduce? If I keep on paying money, can I say my cash will reduce? Or cash is going out of the business? Don't I need to record this? What money is coming in, how much money is going out, how much money is increasing or how much money is decreasing? Don't you think as a businessman I need to record each and everything? So can I say the other account which I should be worried about for accounting is cash?
Cash.
Getting? So these are the two accounts. So in every transaction, minimum two account will be affected. In that, one account will always be debit, another account will be always credit. One debit equal and opposite corresponding credit. So this 20 debit, if I debit furniture for 20,000 rupees, cash also will credit for 20,000 rupees. Now you need to
20,000.
understand why are we debiting, why are we crediting. This entire chapter will understand the rules. Why debit, why credit. This is what we are going to study in this chapter. This is what we are going to study. If I have debited furniture, why did I debit furniture? If I have credited furniture, why did I credit furniture? This is what we are going to study in this chapter. This is the rules. If I have debited furniture, this is not because I like to debit furniture. I have debited furniture because rule says it. If I have credited cash, why did I credit cash? Because rule says it. So we are here to learn the rule of which account should be debited and when, and which account should be credited and when. Are we clear with this point? So every transaction will affect two accounts minimum. One of which will be debit, another will be credit. And I said you earlier that transaction means it's an activity which is happening between two people or two person. This person can be a natural human being or artificial person. So what is natural person? What is artificial person? We'll study in next few minutes. So rules of debit and credit. What you learn, you have to apply to each transaction so that you can do recording in the books of accounts properly. You can record in the books of original entry. I repeat, rule of debit and credit are applied to each transaction and recorded in the books of original entry. Books of original entry. The place where you record the journal is called books of original entry because the first step of accounting starts with journal entry. So it is called book of original. Original entry means first entry. Or special purpose book. Special purpose book is a different concept, guys. There are two different chapters, two separate chapters on special purpose book. So that time I'll explain you what is the difference between journal and special purpose book. As of now, remember that journal is different, special purpose book is different. So journal is called as book of original entry. Always remember, you can expect a 1 mark question from this. A book of original entry is called as journal, ledger, a trial balance or final accounts. You have to record it is, sir, it is journal. So journal is called as book of original entry. Please highlight this. Journal is called as book of original entry. And you have to record in the chronological order. I said yesterday that when we discussed, we have to record all the journal entries in the order in which it is taking place from morning till night. The transactions recorded in the books. After it is recorded in the books of accounts, it is transferred or posted to a specific account called ledger. Correct? After you record a journal entry in the books of accounts, you transfer. The technical word is posted. You will post the transaction from journal entry to ledger. At this stage, it is appropriate to define and understand the term account. Now you'll understand what is the meaning of account. So account is a record of transaction. This record of transaction under a particular head. So if I record a journal entry, furniture, account, debit to cash. So I opened account for separately furniture. I opened a separate account for furniture. I'll open a separate account for cash. So in that, what all furniture I purchased, for that furniture, how much cash I paid, how much furniture came in, how much furniture went out, everything will be recorded. So all the information from starting till end with regard to furniture, you will find in the furniture account. Furniture account is nothing but a ledger. This is called cash account. This is also another ledger. This is cash ledger. We call it as cash ledger or cash account. So in this, how much total money came in, who all gave money, different people, and where all money went, to whom all money was paid. Everything will be recorded here. So each and every transaction, I said you that there'll be one debit and one credit. For each account, there'll be one separate ledger. So if I do a next transaction, let's suppose that I am purchasing. So purchase account debit to cash. Then I have a separate account for purchase. Cash account will be recorded here only. This cash will be recorded here only. So all the cash, wherever in whichever transaction the cash is coming in or going out, will be recorded in cash account. So for each and every account, there will be one single separate account called ledger. So that's this called accounts. Accounting is a record of transaction under a particular head. Can I say that you're recording all the transaction? Whatever the furniture you're buying, whatever the furniture you're selling, is recorded under a particular head. How much our cash is coming in, how much our cash is going out is recorded under a particular head. So account is a record of transaction under a particular head. It records not only the amount of transaction, but also their effect and direction. This you will understand much better when I take the ledger chapter. In ledger chapter, you'll understand this much better. So the account is divided into two parts. That is debit and credit. If you see, ledger I have divided in two parts. The left hand side part is called as debit and the right is called as credit. Any account you take, any account, whatever you feel like you open, you have to open a ledger like this only. Account is called as ledger. Let's say cash ledger. Left hand side will always be DR, debit, and right hand side always CR. So can I say, when you draw something like this, is it not looking like a T-shaped account? Is it not looking like T-shape? Guys? Rakesh, CB?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ayush, Nikhil? Yes. So an accounting is divided into two parts, debit and credit. It is usually in the T form. It is usually in the T form. And the common layout of the account is as follows. So what do we record in this T shape? What do I record this? Sir, when I open this ledger, I divide this into two, sir, first. Here I record first date.
Debit.
Then I have particulars. I have journal folio. Then I have amount. Same copy on the right side. Date, particulars, journal folio, amount. This is debit side of, this is credit side. See, date, particulars, JF, amount. Then there is a line. Then date, particulars, JF, amount. So this is credit side, this is debit side. What is the name of the account? Wages account, salary account, cash account, capital account, building account, furniture account, debtor account, creditor account,
Okay.
purchase account, sales account, purchase return account, sales return account. For every item what we discussed in the second chapter, each and every item will have one account. Each and every item will have one account, and you have to create a ledger in this format. So when we come to ledger chapter, I'll discuss about this in detail. Now you have to understand what is the meaning of debit and credit. Debit refers to the left side of an account. Did I record debit on the left side? This is left hand side and this is right hand side. Correct? So debit refers to left side of the account and credit refers to the right side of an account. It is abbreviated as DR. So debit short form is called as DR, stands for debit, and CR stands for credit. So a lot of time people get confused with debtor. Debtor means DR, means debit. No, debtor is not DR. DR means only debit. When I say DR, a lot of people say cash account debtor. No, it is cash account debit. DR stands only for debit. Debit is different, debtor is different. Did we not learn the meaning of debtor in the second chapter? Debtor is different. Debtor is my customer. Debtor is different, debit is different. DR stands for only debit. DR does not mean debtor. CR does not mean creditor. CR means credit only. A lot of people on the creditor. CR stands for creditor. No, CR stands only for credit. Nowhere in your accounting it is mentioned that the short form of creditor, the short form of creditor is CR. No. Please be very clear with this. A lot of people, they have the confusion. An item recorded on the debit side of an account is said to be debited to an account. Very important. Please underline this letter. An item, an account recorded on the debit side of an account. If I record an item, which means furniture, cash, if I record this item on the debit side, I'll show you 1 second. This is my cash account. In the cash account, 20,000 I have received because of sale of, let's say because of sale. I've done some sale. So this is debit side and this is credit side. If in cash account, in cash ledger, if something is record on the debit side, then I say that sale account is debited to cash account. Sale account is debited to the cash account. So an item recorded on the debit side of an account. Can I say sale is an item? Can I say sale is an item which is recorded on the debit side of the account? Sale is an item. Sale is an item which is recorded on the debit side of the account, cash account. Now when I open a sale account, I'll record same 20,000 cash here. So cash now becomes an item which is recorded on the credit side of the account. So an item recorded on the credit side of an account is said to be credited to an account. So what does this mean? This means that cash is credited to sales account. Cash is credited to sales account. Credited means what? Under sales account, you're recording cash. Cash is credited. Your sale is debited to cash account. You will come across this term in almost every questions. So please be very clear. A lot of people, even in 12th, they're not clear what does debited to an account means, what does credited to an account means. Please underline, if you have highlighter, please underline, this is very, very important. If you're not understanding the meaning of this, you will not understand the language of the question and you will always make a wrong entry. So what does debit and credit represents? Debit and credit represents either increase or decrease of the value of the account depending upon the nature of the account. So what is the increase and decrease? I'll explain in detail when we come and touch upon the rules of debit and credit. When we take rules of debit and credit, I will make you understand the meaning of increase and decrease. The rule of debit and credit depends on the nature of account. So this is what we are going to study in the rule, nature of account. Sorry, we are going to study in the rule. What in which rule, which nature are they talking about? We'll study in detail very shortly. So now in this particular point, you have to be very clear with the first paragraph. Any doubt in the first paragraph, please? Any doubts in the first paragraph, please?
No.
Can we go ahead?
Yes.
Now, next we have to understand the rules of debit and credit. So far we understood the meaning of debit and credit. Now, rule of debit and credit. Under double entry system of accounting, each transaction has two aspects. One aspect is debit, another aspect is credit. Did I tell you that in every transaction we just discussed? I think I erased it if I'm not wrong. Did I erase it? Yeah. I said you that every transaction we'll have two aspects in which one will be debit, another will be credit. We'll have two accounts, I said. Two accounts is also known as two aspects, not person. I'm telling aspect. I said you that in every transaction will be one debit and one credit. In our example, we debited furniture and we credited cash. So every transaction will have debit aspect and credit aspect. If you are recording both debit and credit aspect, then you are following double entry system of accounting. Double entry system. In case when you're recording transaction, you recorded only debit and you forgot to record credit, which means it is single entry system of accounting, which is not permissible, which is not allowed. If you do single entry, your accounting will not be correct. So for every transaction, there will be debit, which will have equal and opposite corresponding impact of credit. If furniture, if I debit for 20,000 rupees, cash will also be 20,000 credited. Same amount, equal and opposite amount. So if you record both debit and credit, it is called double entry system of accounting. Under double entry system of accounting, each transaction, each and every transaction has two aspects. One aspect is debit, another aspect is credit. Receiving or incoming, we'll understand this when we do the rules. Another aspect is credit. Debit and credit aspect of transaction are debit and credit aspect of a transaction form the basis of double entry system. So double entry system means what? You have to record both debit and credit. If you record only one debit, you forget credit, or if you record credit and you forgot debit, then it is called single entry system, which is not allowed. Rules of double entry or rules of debit and credit are formed on the basis of two aspects in each business transaction. There are two approaches. There are two rules for deciding which should be debited and which should be credited. Right? So we are going to study two approaches, traditional approach and modern approach. These two rules we will study and understand and accordingly apply which account I should debit and which account I should credit. There are two approaches for deciding when to write on the debit side of the account or when to write on the credit side of an account. That is, which account should be debited or which account should be credited. The rules on the basis of on which such decision is taken is called rules of debit and credit. So these two is called rules of debit and credit. This is called rules of debit and credit. This is called rules of debit and credit. Any doubts so far? Any doubts so far? Any point which you did not understand so far with whatever I explained?